Hi everybody, it's Kathy with Messy Cat Creations, and this week I am so excited to bring you this video. So I'm sorry it's late, but the reason is because I have been working my butt off on a project. If you have noticed, I always wear Critical Role shirts or, yeah, just Critical Role shirts. That's my whole entire wardrobe is Critical Role shirts. And I am an avid tabletop gamer. I'm an avid D&D player and fan, even just to watch, especially Critical Role. But this past week, I started my own campaign as a DM. And so for the past month or so, I have been prepping. I've never DM'd before. And I'm in a gaming group, and our Dungeon Daddy couldn't continue being our DM, so for family reasons and work reasons and just life. And so we were all still chomping at the bit to play, and so it's been quite a while, and I thought, well, if nobody else is going to step up and volunteer, I think I will. So I started running a campaign this week, and I'm so excited, but it took me a lot of prep time. I created my own city, but it is in the world of Exandria, which is created by Matt Mercer and the Critical Role gang. So I created this city. It's called Trinity Vale, and I did a map of it, and that is what this week's video is going to be, is my painting of the map of Trinity Vale. Now, I was super excited by a coincidence because I knew I wanted this to be in Exandria somewhere, because even though I'm fairly new to D&D, I've only been playing it. My first adventure was like within the last 5 years. But I've always been a huge fan, and I've watched every episode of the first, second, and third campaign that the Critical Role people have done, and so I've just watched hours and hours of absorbing D&D, and I wanted to create my world within Exandria because I love the Critical Role world so much. So I created this city of Trinity Vale. This is what the map looks like at the end, and you'll get to see how I created it. But what is so interesting is that, you know, I have all of their books that they've put out, the Critical Role people, and so I was looking over the Tal'Dorei map, and I was like, I don't know where I want Trinity Vale to be, and it really didn't feel like Tal'Dorei to me. So I got out the map of Wildemount, and I was looking, and the way I've created Trinity Vale, this is the Wildemount map. And I was looking all through it, and nothing really felt right until I looked at this area right here. And I don't know if you can see this little river here, but that little river, which is in the Durale Woods, it fits perfect with this river that ran right through Trinity Vale. I mean, it is almost a match. And I had mocked up Trinity Vale way before I ever looked at the Wildemount map. And so it just felt like kismet. I was so excited. And so that, once I set it within the Durale Woods, and I'm sorry, Matt Mercer, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, like he would ever see this. But anyway, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. But I don't remember that ever being mentioned on Critical Role at all. And so I just, based on the way he pronounces a lot of the other things in Exandria, I just said Durale. So hopefully that's correct. But once I decided that it was going to be set there, and that that's where my city was going to be, it just kind of locked everything in place. And so I'm super excited to bring you guys along on this campaign. Of course, I won't be able to show you any of the maps or anything like that until after my players get to see them. So I don't know how often or how consistent these videos will be. because it all depends on where my players go and where they take me. So I will try to bring you guys along the way as soon as I can with each session, and I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please like and subscribe, and enjoy the show. Thanks. Bye. So this was the first mock-up I did, and so I'm using that as a rough start for where I'm taking this map when I'm drawing it. I did change a few things, I shifted a few things around, but it pretty consistently matches that little small mock-up that I did before I began drawing my map. So the town of Trinity Vale is set in the Durrali Woods, and it has a farming area up and to the left. It is a convergence of several things, one being three different temples, three different religions for within the world of Exandria. We have up here in the area that I'm working right now is the farming area, and over to the left there was a little circle with some crosshatch in it, and that was the Temple of Pelor. And then right now I'm doing all of the roads going through Trinity Vale, and so at the southern part of Trinity Vale, to the right of the bottom road, is the Temple of the Raven Queen, and then up and to the right there is a section where there is a university, and also the Temple of Ioun, so the knowing mistress. So she is the patron of that university. And so this is a convergence of three different religions, and that makes Trinity Vale unique in that there are three sections of the town, and so several groups in the town worship each one of the gods or goddesses, and that's going to, make for an interesting, I hope, campaign. And then so now I'm painting in the rivers, and so this is the Durrali River that I'm painting, and then there's also a little branch off to the upper right, and then a smaller branch to the lower right. And so this is on watercolor paper, and I'm using watercolor paint. So the big area is the Durrali River, but there is a smaller one that I will be painting, and it is called the Dolittle Run, and then the lowest, smallest of the three branches is called the Thin Branch. Now, I just made those two up. The Durrali River is within the Durrali Woods, but the other two branches I just made up. And the whole entire town of Trinity Vale is just where I wanted to set my campaign, and I have created a whole bunch of backstories for everyone. The little brown areas are bridges that cross all of the rivers, and I'm using DaVinci watercolor here. Several different shades of blue go into the water, and then I also put a little bit of green into the water to make it more natural looking. So here I'm beginning the farmland area. All of these little patches are different little farms within the Palor region of the town. This area down here that I'm painting on now is the Oracle Woods. So my players have to go see the Oracle almost first thing when they go into town. So her woods were going to be a very important part in this. And there's going to be a second map that you see at the end of this video, and that second map actually happened within the Oracle Woods. This area down here is going to be a central focus, at least for the beginning of the campaign. What happened with my players is that they were summoned magically to the town of Trinity Vale from all over. 3 of my players came from Waterdeep, which is not even in Exandria, and so they were magically transported to Trinity Vale. And then one of my other players was from Iman, so she was also magically transported to Trinity Vale, but it wasn't as far to go. She didn't have to shift planes or anything like the other characters did. So this is a part of a mountain, but it also, the little square part that's sticking out is a mansion. And so the person that brought my characters to Trinity Vale is the mayor of Trinity Vale, and his father has gone missing. His father owns this mansion, and he has gone missing. And the mansion is where his father is an archaeologist and kind of an Indiana Jones type person, and he also teaches at the university, again, kind of Indiana Jones-esque. And so he has this mansion, and within the mansion is where he keeps his collection. It's not a museum that's open to the public, but a lot of the people from the university come and study his collection, and he does a lot of work and study on these historic, mystical items that are from all through different ages of Alexandria. And so he has gone missing and is presumed to be trapped somewhere in the mansion, but we're not sure. There is this mysterious fog. That's what's jutting out from the mansion that you can see in gray there. But also the mountain has started to kind of take the mansion back within, in kind of sucking it into the mountain, and the mountain is kind of growing around the mansion. So that's why it looks the way it does down at the bottom of the map. Now this top part that I was working on, the big building at the very top is the university. There's also a library attached to the university. And then all of these smaller things that I'm working on, there is a town hall. There is a garrison where the constabulary is based. And for this town, they're called the balance keepers. And so the long building to the left of the river is the garrison, and then the little smaller building is the town hall. That's where my players start out. And then the elongated building that I was just working on right above the road is a triple building. It's got 3 different stores in it. It's got a metal goods place that is run by the blacksmith. It's got an apothecary, and it's got the far right is a trinkets and tailored goods place. And then what I was just working on is the Broken Toadstool Inn and Tavern. And then there are the 3 little buildings I'm working on down there. There is a tavern called the Dark Cup. There is a bakery called the Bloody Bakery. And then there is a brothel called the Twilight Inn. And then the little areas that I'm working on right now is another inn called the Buttercup Inn. And then the areas I'm working on right now, up there near the farmland area, is a produce market. There's also a fish market that is down by one of the docks, and then there's also a meat market. So that's the meat market right there that I'm working on right now. So it's a pretty, bustling little town. It is a way station between the mountains above, and then there's a lake above it. There's the Sirios Mountains that are to the north, and then there to the right are the lithical mines. So this is kind of a through area for miners. And then to the south, of course, is the city of Guardon, and also to the far south is the Menagerie Coast. So there are a lot of goods travel through here. A lot of fishing is done. There's farming. There's cattle. And then because there's the Knowing Mistress Academy, a lot of people who follow Ioun come here to study. So that is the background mythology of my town. And here I'm drawing the back because my paper had started to curl. So I was drawing the back to try to get it to curl back the opposite direction. And so this is what my map mostly looked like at the end. And I am going to put in some detail work with some pins. I've got some brown pins that I'll be doing some fencing with. I've also got some gray pins that I'm going to be doing some of the foggy, smoky areas down near the mansion. And then I'll just be adding in some details with black Pitt pins and Micron pins. So that's what you'll be watching. So this is the finished map of what it looks like after I did all of the pen and ink on the end and just did all the finishing touches. And then once I finished this, I scanned it in and then printed out copies for all of my players. And this is what the printout looks like in comparison. So this is what all of my players got and get to keep while they're walking around town. And then I did a couple of more maps for the session that I didn't record because I was running out of time. So I just quickly did them. So I thought you might want to see those as well. This is a map of a clearing that my players were going into on the way to see an oracle. And so these are pond and just standing water areas. This is a large tree. This is a cup of trees. And then this is surrounding forest and little shrubs and stones around the waterway. This is a dead deer off in the distance. And so once I made a copy of that, this is what I used to be able to put in where the dangers were. So there were some dangers in the water, and then where the dead deer was, there was a committee of vultures that were waiting for them. So that's what it looked like for me behind my screen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe and click the notification button. If you would like to see more videos like this, please leave it in a comment if you would like to see something different. I would love to have a conversation about that, so please leave that in the comment. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye!